All right, so we are back. Here's your girl MJ Brown back on I Like to Go There podcast. I got some more great people with me, actually some more of my favorite people. And I got Justin and I got my girl Rachel with me. So we about to go there, okay? Today we talking about intercultural relationships. We don't say interracial relationships. That's passe. That's old. It's done with. So we're going to go ahead and talk about the cultural and the intercultural relationships and how we can figure out a pathway to just keep moving forward, man. So with that being said, welcome Rachel and Justin.
Thank you for having us. Yes.
Absolutely.
We're excited.
Oh man, I'm super excited to have you guys. Again, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for trusting me and believing in me. And so I'm really grateful for you guys' time. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Tell me your love story, guys. What's your love story? Whoever wants to talk about it.
We actually met at, well, I'm a start because I'm very general, and then she could add in the details. But we pretty much met at work downtown LA, but years ago, 11 years ago.
Oh, wow.
10, 11 years ago. And it wasn't, she was just, of course, when I saw her, I liked her. But you know how that go.
Yes.
She didn't really,
what did you see that you liked so much?
a lot. I saw the smile. I saw the shoes.
Oh, what kind of shoes? What kind of shoes was it?
Yeah, so you know me, I like the J's. So she had on some J's. I was like, oh, you know the spit socks? And she's like, yeah, I know about those. I got those. And she knew about sports, so she was just on the radar.
Ooh.
Good energy, as you've witnessed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that how you remember
So there's
it?
more to the story.
Oh, yes, I was just going to ask.
Yeah. So we were at the same company for a few years, but didn't work together until 2012. And that's because my best friend worked with him.
Mm-hmm.
And she got me a job in the department. And before I started, my best friend told me, by the way, there's this guy named Justin that would be perfect for you.
Oh.
And I was like, Shauna, my best friend, I was like, you know, I'm already dating somebody else. It's okay. We're not going to do all that.
Okay.
But when I met him, I knew what she was talking about. He just lights up a room. He commands the room. He's so charismatic. He makes you feel like you're the only person in the room. He has just that magical ability. I mean, you know Justin very well, so you know what he brings into every situation. And I just, like that moment, I fell in love with it. And I knew, okay.
I always thought of it as him being the calm in the storm. That's how because you when you got the crew together, everybody has a huge personality. He was the calm in the storm, so I completely get it. I get it 1,000%. Okay.
Yeah.
So you were already on game from Shauna, but he wasn't. He was just like, "Ooh, okay, she got the J's going. She's okay, cool." So tell me, how did you know that he was the one, Rachel? When did you know that he was the one?
When did I know? I'm trying to think back in our relationship. Just seeing how he interacted with people, I think that made me like him from a more than friend perspective, because we were friends first. That was the cool thing about it, is there was no when you get to know somebody as a friend, you really get to know them as a genuine person, I feel. Okay. And so I got to see that side of him. We would go on our lunch breaks walking around the building and talking about life, and I just loved the way he thought, right? Yeah. And we started dating once we changed apartments. And when we were dating, it was soon after. I never wanted to get married. I never wanted to have kids. But something about Justin made me feel like I can be with this person for the rest of my life. Yeah. I want to have this man's children in the future. Yeah. And I never felt that way about anybody else.
Wow. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. And how about you? Jay? When did you know that Rachel was the one? Or how did you know? That's a better question. How did you know?
You know what? It just happened so organically. Yeah. I don't even. By the time I knew she was the one, we was pretty much already dating. Because, like she said, we had pretty much had two first dates. We had I never been to Roscoe's, and I was like, all right,
hilarious.
Roscoe's one day. I kind of
that was like a friendship.
Informative, yeah. Because like somewhere else, then I took her on a real date, and then before you know it, we just going to Dodger games, and like probably by the time I knew she was the one, I actually said in my vows at our wedding is we had you've been on Somerset before, you know Somerset used to be a whole bunch of people at the house. Yeah. We ordered in a whole bunch of food for probably like 10 people. Yep. And with I took put out my wallet, handed to him, very serious face. He turned to me, it was like, I'm about to ball out. And it was just something so ridiculous, simple, which is right up my alley. It was like, that's when it clicked. Like I probably spent the rest of my life with this woman. Just like she said, it started off, the attraction was there, but it really started off as a friendship. Yeah.
Okay, hard question, guys. Do you get the stares when you're out and about? Do you get the stares?
Once. So I examine a location by imminent threat. You know, when I'm somewhere and everybody is cool, I'm not really tripping on the stares. I'm trying to even think. I'm sure we've had to get the stares. That's the sort of world that we live in. But you know, if that shit don't pay me, I can give a fuck about who's staring. Right. To be honest, as long as there's no imminent threats around, you know, let me proceed to look good in these outfits that we got on and enjoy ourselves. I don't care about a stranger staring.
What about you, Rach? How do you feel? Have you noticed the stares?
I personally don't, and I think we have the benefit of living in Los Angeles, which is very diverse. I personally have only felt, you know, uncomfortable a handful of times. I used to live in the Crenshaw neighborhood with Justin, and he knows this story. You know, obviously on the outside I look Jewish, but I have a very unique cultural background. But a stranger is going to look at me and think, well, what is this Jewish woman doing in this Crenshaw post office or at this Crenshaw Albertsons? And there's been times where, you know, that has happened. But I don't let that bother me because, like Justin said, you know, these outside opinions has no effect on our relationship. We both know, you know, the type of people we are. Like I said, I had a unique upbringing. And so when I, you know, fell in love with Justin, I never said, oh, I fell in love with a black man. It was never that. It was, I fell in love with Justin Huey. He is my future husband, future father of my children. And I judge him on who he is and not the fact that, you know, he is from, you know, black descent. That never crosses my mind.
Gotcha. So let me ask you this with regard to, you know, you mentioned your upbringing. How did your family accept Justin?
Yeah, so I have a very unique background. As you know, my maiden last name is Chow. So I was raised by a Chinese family. And a lot of times, like, people from the black community would think that, oh, Chinese people, they don't like black people. That wasn't the case with my family at all. My brother and sister are actually half black. My uncle is black. My cousin is black. My grandmother, if you were to see her, you know, rest in peace to her, she passed when I was 16.
I'm sorry.
If you were to see her, you would think she's black, but she's Chinese, right? Yeah. And she raised me and my brother, even though we had to have known, you know, we weren't her biological grandchildren. And she raised us to always, you know, judge people for who they are, not what they look like. And so it never, you know, I've always gotten along with different races. I grew up in a predominantly Hispanic neighborhood. I was raised by a Chinese family. I know I look white on the outside, but when I think of myself, like, I don't see what the outside sees. I just know about my culture, my traditions, and the people who raised me to make me who I am.
Gotcha. So your culture that you identify with is Asian?
Definitely.
Got it.
Even though heritage-wise, I'm Jewish, like, I've done a DNA test, I'm Jewish and Portuguese, I don't identify with the Jewish culture at all. Even my Jewish clients, they'll be like, you're working today? It's this Jewish holiday. It's like, well, I wasn't raised Jewish, so I don't celebrate those traditions, but I celebrate the Chinese culture and the Chinese traditions. And luckily for Justin, he's been able to embrace my family's culture. And I mean, wouldn't you say, like, you know, it's been fun kind of like learning each other's culture and embracing each other's culture?
From what I've learned, Chinese culture, they're very prideful about their business. And just me being who I am, I can appreciate prideful people that are about their business.
Yeah.
I mean, but yet still warming, just, I mean, it's, again, I'm telling you, it's so easy to where, I mean, first time I met him, it was just easy. She was like, oh, well, Chinese culture, they don't hug. I was like, well, black people do. So we kind of got I'll hug everybody who comes through the door, but Justin's a hugger, so we'll hug him. And it's crazy. It's easy. At the end of the day, it's just about surrounding yourself with authentic people,
right?
No matter the race. And I'm just surrounded by multiple races of authentic people.
That's right. Okay, so tell me, how did your family feel, Justin, about Rachel? Was there any contention? Was there any strife at all?
Not at all. There's already the diversity in the family. So, for example, my cousin married a Hispanic woman or Latina. So there was already that diversity there. And I feel like it was, as you know, I feel like black people are very compassionate people, probably because of what has happened to us. So who would be my family to be prejudiced against someone that they've experienced prejudice towards them? That would be kind of crazy, right? So, I mean, my mom is happy to have her. I mean, we've only been married a little bit over a year, but I think she's calling her daughter longer than that. So she said, I value my mom's opinion, very highly, and she's all for it. She's just ready for the kids.
I hear that. And well, okay, when it comes down to, let's say, the children aspect of it, right? And this may be a difficult question to ask. How are we going to, or how would you approach? And Rachel, this question is to you. How would you approach the conversation about how your child will be perceived in society?
Yeah, I think about it often because I know that not everybody is as open-minded as ourselves or as my family, his family.
Right.
And so you go out into the world with that risk of people judging you off of their prejudices.
That's right.
And so this is definitely going to be a conversation that we would need to have with our child at a young age. It's interesting, though, when you speak to children, they don't see that color. It's the adults that instill those thoughts into children. Going back to my cultural background, obviously I don't look Chinese, but I grew up telling people I was half Chinese because that's what I thought I was.
Right.
No child ever said, you don't look Chinese, you're not Chinese. Everybody always thought we were Chinese because that's what I said I was, right? Until I was an adult, did somebody confront me and say, I don't think your Chinese dad is your Chinese dad because I'm Chinese and my kids are half Chinese and they don't look like you. So it's going to be one of those things that we're going to have to prepare our child for. Right. Yes, your mom is Jewish and Portuguese. Your dad is black. So you're mixed with those things. Your aunties are Chinese and you celebrate Chinese New Year. You're going to do this. But I think it's a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. And I think we just got to come from a positive place. Now, going to the negative of it, just them knowing like the risk involved with being black in America, like that's definitely going to be a conversation that we need to have. I think that's what Justin can teach our future children. Like, hey, you got to do this. And I know it's messed up because just because you're this race that people are going to treat you like this, but it's not going to be all, candies and rainbows. It's really what's out there in life. And I think Justin will handle that portion of it better, I think, than myself. Because I've obviously, as a outward appearing Jewish woman, I don't get a lot of the same things that you probably have gotten in your life that you'll have to teach our future children. Yeah.
So, okay. This is the last question, and it's maybe even a more difficult one. Okay. Mm-hmm. Your child comes home from school and they say that they've been called the N-word. And dad, I can pretty much guess what dad will do. but being of a different culture, and like you mentioned, you haven't had the same experiences that maybe Justin may have had. What do you do in that moment? What do you do, Rachel? Dad's not home. Dad's at work. But you just picked up your child and they tell you what they've experienced. What do you do?
Yeah. If and when that happens, I would have to probably sit down with them. And I think there will be conversations that's a bad word. It comes from a place of hate. And so if that does happen, they already know how to respond. They don't wait till they come home to tell us that this happened. It's like, hey, if anybody ever calls you a bad name, you need to tell your teacher, you need to tell your principal. And these are conversations we need to have beforehand. We don't want to wait until something bad happens and then now we're doing damage control, right? So I think before it happens, we're having those conversations. But like if it does happen and they come me for advice, I would just let them know, like, there's a lot of people that aren't going to like you in this world, but you can't focus on that. Don't let those people get you down. You need to, come back positive, come back strong, and show them that you're not that word that they're calling you. You should be proud to be Black. You should be proud to be all these different cultures and show them like what you can do with your power. Gotcha.
Justin, same question for you. What would you do?
Oh, yeah, we definitely got to get the parents in the principal's office and help. So that's more on the parent side.
Got it.
More on the kid side, like Rachel said. They're already going to be trained on that. Like, for example, just straight up, I never met a successful, closed-minded person. We don't respect or let unsuccessful, closed-minded people affect us, because those aren't the people who change the world or make an impact on society.
Right.
So, he or she know that right off the bat to know how to handle it. So, we don't let people beneath us even offend us.
That's right.
I believe in superhero rules. A superhero got to kill a superhero,
Yeah.
But yeah, we definitely get in the office with the parents. That's tough.
That's tough. They heard it from their parents. Most likely.
It's easy to scream derogatory,
right.
Sayings from your living room when nobody's around. But meet me at the principal's office and hash it out and put a face to this child. Probably will, probably won't. But at the end with something like that, our kid will prevail hands down.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys again. Thank you so much for joining me on I Like to Go There podcast. And hey, we went there. Okay, we went there and we got through it. Okay. So we thank you guys so much again, and much love. I love you both, and I just wish you nothing but the best. And please let me know so I can, when y'all do get that positive test, we're going to send some gifts your way.
Yeah.
You're one of the first people to know.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen.
All right. I love y'all. Y'all take care.
Much love. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
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 All right.